This is the story of a dangerous assassin who receives a new contract to build the world's most dangerous gun, and he sets about completing his mission. But as he discovers the truth, he is devastated. The story begins in Sweden. Here, we are introduced to Jack, a dangerous assassin, but he has now moved on, leaving his old life behind. He wants to forget all the wrongs he has done in the past and move on. He now lives there with his girlfriend, and she doesn't know anything about Jack. One morning, they go out for a walk. Jack sees footprints. His girlfriend then believes they are the footprints of a hunter, but Jack realizes that someone has arrived to kill him. Jack tells his girlfriend that they must return from here. They both run and hide behind a rock. Suddenly, a man begins firing indiscriminately at them. Jack pulls a gun from his pocket, and upon seeing it, his girlfriend panics and is unsure of where Jack got the gun. Jack then attacks and kills the killer and begins searching for him. But his girlfriend, standing nearby, doesn't understand what's happening. Jack tells him to go back and call the police. As soon as his girlfriend starts to leave, Jack kills her too, realizing that this woman now knows everything about him and could prove dangerous to him in the future. Then we see another assassin a short distance away, waiting for his partner to return after killing Jack. But suddenly, Jack arrives and kills that assassin as well. Jack knows that since two assassins have arrived, there could be more. So Jack leaves his country and arrives in the Italian city of Roma, where he meets his friend Pavel. Jack tells him about what happened to him, and also tells him that the girl he was with has killed herself so that no one will know about her. Pavel tells him that he should stay alone from now on because he knows what he does. Any of his friends could cause trouble for him. Pavel tells him that he will find out who the attackers were, but he can't stay here anymore because staying here will only increase his problems. He's sending him to a small town. He'll contact him there later. Pavel gives him a phone and says that if he has any work to do, he'll contact him through the phone. Jack drives off to that city, but as Jack enters the village, he realizes that the town is very small, and he doesn't like it at all. He takes his car and leaves the town, throwing away the phone Pavel gave him on the way. Jack now arrives in a big city, but he doesn't want to reveal his true identity to anyone here. So he tells everyone his name is Adrian. The next day, he goes to a cafe for coffee. He tells everyone that he's a photographer so no one will suspect him. But wherever he goes, they are always surprised. One day, he goes to a vending machine, but he doesn't know how to operate it. Just then, a priest comes to him. Jack tells him that he doesn't know how to operate it. Just then, a priest comes to him. Jack tells him that he doesn't know how to operate it. The priest then helps him. The pastor asks Jack to come to his house one day because he needs to know a lot about Jack, who is new to town. Jack agrees to go to his house. Jack then returns to his apartment, and the first thing he does is call Pavel. But Pavel is furious. He tells Jack, "How dare you hang up? If you do anything like that again, never contact me again." Pavel tells him that he has a new job. Completing it will pay him a lot. You won't even have to kill anyone. You just have to build a good sniper gun. Jack agrees to do the job. Pavel tells him that a girl will come to meet him and tell him everything else. That evening, Jack arrives at the priest's house and begins drinking with him. The priest asks him why he's there. Jack tells him that he's a photographer and wants to make an album by photographing famous places in Italy. The priest tells him that if he wants to take photographs of this place, he must first learn about its history. But Jack doesn't pay much attention to these things. The next day, he arrives at the place where the girl was supposed to be. Then, he sees a girl named Metal. She sits down at a table. Jack realizes it's her. Jack also sits at a nearby table. They start talking. The girl starts giving Jack all the information about the sniper rifle she wants. Jack understands her information. Then Jack sees a man watching them. He asks Metal if he came with her. Metal tells him, "I don't know that man. I came here alone. I don't know who he is." Jack arrives home at night and is unable to sleep. He is suddenly awakened by small noises outside. The next day, he goes to a courier office where a parcel had arrived. The parcel contains gun parts. He returns home and begins to build the gun. But with the parts in the parcel, he can only build half the gun. He needs more parts to build the rest of the gun. Meanwhile, Jack visits a brothel. There, he meets a prostitute named Clara. Clara and Jack have a good time together. The next day, Jack is returning and finds that the pastor's car is broken down on the way. Jack easily fixes it. The pastor tells him that he's having dinner at his house tonight. Then Jack arrives at the pastor's house. He sees a photograph there and asks the pastor who he is. The pastor says that he's a very good man, but he's currently involved with bad people. Then they start eating. Jack asks him, "Did you always want to be a pastor?" The pastor laughs and says, "Did you always want to be a photographer? You must have some other dream. When you first met me, you said you had no idea about machinery. But that day, you fixed my car in a short time. Your demeanor doesn't suggest you're a photographer at all." But Jack doesn't say anything about it. He leaves. The man whose picture Jack saw had his own garage. His name was Fabio. Jack then collects the parts he needs and returns home to finish his work. After working all night, Jack finishes his rifle. Now he has to test it, so he goes to a forest and begins testing it. He finds it perfect. Later that night, he arrives at the same brothel where he was supposed to meet Clara. But the girls there tell him that Clara hasn't arrived, so Jack leaves. Then Jack goes to a bar. The waiter brings him a letter. Opening the letter reveals a news clipping. This news cutting mentions all the people Jack killed in Sweden. Jack begins to wonder who this person is who knows everything about him. Jack then heads home and sleeps with the gun all night. The next morning, he arrives at a railway station where Mathilde was supposed to arrive. Jack then meets Mathilde and takes her to a forest. Once there, they spread a sheet so that the gun's marks are hidden from view. Mathilde picks up the gun and quickly assembles it, which makes Jack realize that Mathilde is an expert. Mathilde then begins testing the gun. The way Mathilde fires it, Jack realizes that Mathilde has a good aim. Mathilde now wants to know about the gun's silencer. So, she stands back and tells Jack, "I have some flower plants. Shoot at them." Hearing this, Jack begins to wonder how Metal could trust him so much. If the gun's aim is even slightly off, Metal could lose her life. Jack starts shooting at the flowering plants, but Metal is unfazed. Metal then comes to Jack and praises him, saying, "You've made a very good rifle." But Metal also tells Jack that she needs to add some more parts to the rifle. Metal then gives Jack half the money. She now expects the gun to be delivered by the 1st of the next month. Jack then begins spilling the liquor on the ground so that anyone who comes here later will think they've come to drink. Just then, a butterfly lands on Metal's hand. Jack then begins to explain the special details about this butterfly. Hearing this, Mathilde tells Jack, "From now on, I'll call you Mr. Butterfly." They both leave. Later that night, Jack visits Clara and they spend time together. Just as Jack is about to leave, Clara also calls him Mr. Butterfly because he has a butterfly tattoo on his back. Clara tells Jack, "I think you're a very nice person." Jack replies, "There's no need to make me feel special. You don't need to treat me like you treat other customers." With that, Jack heads home and begins assembling the remaining gun parts and making special bullets. The next day, he meets Clara, who had come with a friend. Clara tells Jack that she's free tomorrow. Jack says, "Okay, we'll meet at the same place." Clara then leaves with her friend. Jack reads a newspaper report about someone brutally killing prostitutes. Jack then heads home. He spots the man he saw while meeting Metal, following him. Jack takes off his shoes and hides. As the man passes by, Jack follows him. He pulls out his gun to kill him, but then a man arrives on a scooter. The killer then shoots the man on the scooter and flees. Jack then takes the man's scooter and chases after the killer, but the man escapes in a car. As the car leaves the city, Jack first shoots the car's tire, causing it to lose control. Jack approaches the car and kills the killer with his own hands. Jack returns and calls Pavel, telling him everything that's happening to him. Pavel tells him to ignore these small incidents and to be vigilant, finish his job quickly, and escape the city. Jack says, "I want to find out who's chasing me." Pavel says, "Okay, I'll find out and let you know." Jack tries to sleep, but he can't sleep the rest of the night. The thought of killing his girlfriend in Sweden, who was not at fault, haunts him all night. Jack goes out for a walk early in the morning. There he meets the priest. The priest tells him, "I've heard there was a murder last night. Do you know anything about it?" Jack replies, "I don't know anything about it." Jack tells him, "I also heard from somewhere that Fabio is your son." The priest replies, "Yes, Fabio is my son." The priest tells him, "There's someone in my life, but you're completely alone here. You shouldn't be alone here." Hearing this, Jack leaves and that evening meets Clara at a restaurant. There, he is deeply impressed by Clara's manner, which makes Jack feel like a decent woman. Just then, a florist arrives, and Jack buys flowers for Clara. Clara is overjoyed. Clara then asks Jack, "Are you married?" Jack replies, "No." Clara looks happy again. Then, they arrive at Clara's house and spend a good time together. But when Jack wakes up in the morning, he discovers Clara in the shower. He starts going through her things, finding a gun in her purse. This makes Jack suspicious of Clara, wondering if she might be a spy. He returns home, finishes the remaining work on the gun, quickly goes out to buy a briefcase, stuffs all the gun parts into it, and places some office papers on top of it so no one will suspect him. He then follows Clara. Then he sees Clara meeting a lot of men. But Jack is confused whether this man is his client or whether Clara is actually a spy. Meanwhile, Jack calls Pavel and tells him that he will deliver the gun in 2 days. Pavel agrees. After that, Jack and Clara go for a walk. They reach a forest. Clara starts bathing in a canal. She begs Jack to come in, but Jack refuses. After a while, Clara also comes out and lies down on the ground, but Jack's eyes are only on Clara. Just then, Clara starts checking her purse. Jack is startled and takes out his gun. Meanwhile, Clara takes out sunscreen from her purse. Jack also puts down his gun. But now, Clara begins to suspect Jack. She then tells Jack, "I think you found out there's a gun in my purse. I kept that gun in my purse because there's a murderer roaming the city, and I don't want to die at his hands." Jack then believes her. Clara tells Jack, "I feel so good when you're together. I want us to be together like this forever." But Jack refuses, saying, "I'm leaving this town soon. That's why I can't be with you forever." Clara becomes very sad. After returning home, Jack starts thinking only about Clara. Then Jack calls Pavel and tells him, "This is my last job. After this, I want to leave these jobs." Pavel agrees. Jack then sets out to deliver the gun. Then, Metal meets Jack at a cafe outside the city. After checking all the luggage, Metal goes to the bathroom. There, we see Metal has another gun. Jack also becomes suspicious because everyone had disappeared from the cafe. Jack also prepares his gun and comes out, where he meets Metal again, and Metal gives Jack the remaining half of the money. Metal looks as if she wants to talk to Jack more. But just then, a baby carriage arrives, causing Metal to leave, and Jack also leaves in his car. But then, we see Metal, who was following Jack, talking to Pavel on the phone. Pavel wanted Metal to kill Jack. Just then, Jack arrives in a crowded area of the city. There was a festival today. Metal follows him into the town. Jack meets Clara and asks her, "Are you ready to run away with me? I'm leaving this town forever." Clara agrees to go with him. By then, Pavel arrives. Jack is aiming at Metal, but as she pulls the trigger, the gun backfires, hitting Metal. It's then that we learn that Jack had already sensed this, so he had changed the gun's settings. As Jack watches Metal fall, he gives Clara money and tells her to go to the same forest where they first met. He'll meet her there. He then runs to Metal and asks her, "Who told you to kill me?" Then, before dying, Metal mentions Pavel's name. But before Jack can leave, the priest arrives. Jack points his gun at the priest. But Jack doesn't want to kill any innocent people anymore because he's already made the mistake of killing his girlfriend. He apologizes to the priest and leaves. But when he searches for Pavel in the streets, he realizes that Pavel was also after him. But before Pavel can fire, Jack shoots him in the head, resulting in his death. Jack knew that Clara was waiting for him in the forest, so Jack drives off towards the forest. But on the way, he realizes that the bullet Pavel fired had hit him in the stomach and he's bleeding profusely. He might not survive. Still, he keeps driving so he can see Clara one last time, and so he drives into the forest. But before Clara can reach Jack, he dies. Clara is deeply saddened by this. The movie ends with this scene.